Hey there, everyone. It's Brendan here from Crypto 101, and welcome back to another cryptocurrency market update. And today we have a very special episode in store for all of you because the Ethereum Spot ETFs finally got approved. And it wasn't just one, it wasn't just two. We actually saw 8 different Ethereum Spot ETFs get approved. And so what I want to do here in today's video is not only talk about the effect that this is currently having on the crypto market, but also the effect that this is going to continue to have over the next 6 to 12 to 18 months, and even kind of bring up which asset managers got their Ethereum ETFs approved in the first place. Because like I just said, there was 8 different ones. So we have the obvious players like BlackRock and Fidelity and Grayscale and VanEck, but there's a few others as well. And so I think what we can do in today's video is not only understand everything that's happening with the Ethereum ETFs, but also look at the impact that the Bitcoin ETFs had on Bitcoin's price and do a little bit of theorizing about how the Ethereum ETFs could potentially affect not only the Ethereum price, but a lot of the altcoins on Ethereum as well. So if that sounds interesting, all that we ask is that you consider hitting that like button, that subscribe button. And if you really like the content that we have over here, check out the links in the description down below as well, because we have some great communities that you can get plugged into. So let's break the news first. What in the world happened here? Because we've talked about the Ethereum ETFs before on here, and they went from having this really high win rate and success rate. Then they went all the way down and down and down, and they kept falling all the way down to about a 20% chance of approval by May. In fact, we actually covered other stories here talking about how they got pushed back from May to June to July. And it's likely that we could actually not see one until the end of this year, beginning of next year. And then this week, all of that was thrown out the window. And so we're going to go through a couple of articles over here kind of explaining what happened. But essentially, something happened behind the scenes. And I'll tell you what, I think a big player inside of all of this is the increasingly political issue of crypto. Now, if you're not sure what I mean by that, crypto has turned into an election and into a campaign point for most major politicians. There was just a bill that went through the House, or excuse me, through the Senate, and was the first crypto bill to ever hit the president's desk. Now, what that means is that Democrats and Republicans had to come together, and they did in overwhelming majority to pass this bill. So let me just repeat that. Both the Democrat and the Republican side came together here, and the thing that both sides came together over was saying, hey, crypto is too harshly regulated. We need to ease this thing up. And you even had like the people who never would have previously signed something like this. They even came in here and said, hey, there's no reason that crypto should be labeled as a liability on companies' balance sheets. And so we're going to try to get this changed. And so ever since then, you had initially, you had the current president, Joe Biden, say that he would deny a bill like this. You had the opposition, former President Donald Trump, say that he would. And then you also had the building pressure from his own party. And so now what we've seen is that crypto has gone from this more so like financial, asset to becoming a super big campaign point for people everywhere on both sides of the spectrum. And the big push that we're seeing here is positive adoption. So maybe it had something to do to that. And you're probably saying, Brendan, why in the world are you bringing this up? Well, because this got changed out of nowhere. We have some tweets over here from, some of the big ETF analysts like James Seyffart and a lot of the guys at Bloomberg Intelligence. And there was a tweet from them that I really liked saying that just everyone was scrambling in the financial space because everyone was so taken off guard by how out of left field this was. And so I'm sure there's been lots of long nights, long shifts, people working overtime over on Wall Street trying to get everything ready for this. But it passed. It officially passed. And now what we can see here is that Ethereum could potentially see billions of dollars of inflows. Now, so far, Bitcoin has seen about $12 billion in net inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs, and now represents about a couple percent of Bitcoin's entire supply. And what this means is that if Ethereum sees a fraction of that, well, maybe it's going to do a similar thing. Because if we pull up the chart over here and we look at just the current response, Ethereum has been ripping. I mean, when this all started getting announced and stuff, Ethereum had a 20% move up and then another 4% move up. And now it's kind of still consolidating up, net positive about 20% over here. And so Bitcoin's holding value pretty well. It's also doing really well off this news. But a lot of the Ethereum altcoins have also been seeing a lot of love as well. You know, we had Uniswap, Compound, Aave all starting to kind of move back to the upside after a long consolidation downwards over here. And so the ETF providers who actually got approved here in order was Grayscale, Bitwise, BlackRock, VanEck, ARK, Invesco, Fidelity, and Franklin Templeton. Now, these are just the first round. There can obviously be more that come in after this, and we actually saw stuff like this already happen with the Bitcoin ETFs, right? There was an initial batch of them from some of the most prominent and large-scale asset managers, and then other players can come in afterwards now that it's easier for them to get an approval. They know exactly how to frame their stuff. They know what to look for. They know how to word everything. They know what to do, what not to do. And one of the big takeaways here is that staking was actually getting removed from a lot of these Ethereum ETFs. We saw Grayscale do that. I think we saw another player do that as well. And that's something that can always come at a later time. So here's kind of a fast forward of where we're at today. Again, we don't know exactly what happened behind the scenes. The common theory here is that something political kind of triggered this. And I don't think anyone's really arguing about it either. I think most crypto people are net happy about everything that's happening here. But the one big piece of news that we're seeing come out of this entire situation that's different from Ethereum and Bitcoin and kind of that story is people looking for the next ETF. And so there's analysts like this, and we don't know who they are, just, hey, Standard Chartered analyst says that other ETFs are on the way and that they're possible. Maybe it's Solana, maybe it's XRP. This could all happen next year. And excuse me, we actually do know who they are. I misspoke. But you get the picture here. Basically just analysts saying, hey, we could see other ETFs on the way. And I'll tell you what, I do think it's possible. I will say, I don't think that there is a very high likelihood at all that we see an XRP ETF. So much legal trouble in SEC over the past couple of years. I think it would probably be one of the last choices. Solana would probably be up there, maybe next on the list. It could even be something as unpopular as it may be as Litecoin, just because of it being such a well-established, well-regulated crypto asset that has been around for such a long time. I think everyone would love to probably see something like Solana or maybe Cardano. But I think that the most likely choices here could potentially be Solana, could maybe even be something like Litecoin, or dare I say Bitcoin Cash, as much as I do not like Bitcoin Cash. But I think that that's more so the reality. But I don't think we're anywhere near these. I think it'll be quite a while before we see other cryptocurrency ETFs beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so I think that we have plenty of room here to kind of move to the upside and get a lot of positive attention. But I would imagine it's at least next year at the very earliest before we see anything like this, potentially even longer than that as well. I think that we can kind of sit on these Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs for a while, see a lot of really, really positive things. And we already are as well. So as we kind of move into this weekend, if you're coming into the crypto markets and you're going, hey, what did I miss with the market kind of moving up the way that it did over here, with Bitcoin going back up to the highs, going to the low 70,000s, with Ethereum going on almost like a $10,000 move to the upside, actually over a $10,000 move. It did about, just about $1,100. And you're coming back to the market saying, what in the world did I miss this week? Well, that's what it was. It was Ethereum ETFs, positive regulation, adoption happening, not only in the US, but around the world. And so overall, there's a lot of positive stuff. So as we kind of head into the summer season over here, I think the big takeaway is that the horizon's looking bright. There's a lot of really good stuff happening. Prices are starting to appreciate. We're seeing a lot of the large caps start consolidating back towards the highs instead of back towards some of the little local low zones that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. And overall, everything's looking pretty healthy. We have Bitcoin consolidating over the major moving averages. We have Ethereum doing the same, and things are looking good. So that's going to round us out for today's video, everyone. I hope that all of you did enjoy the content over here. If you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We got a lot more cool videos that are going to be coming your way. And also check out the Crypto 101 podcast YouTube channel as well. We have all sorts of tutorials and market updates and podcasts and a ton of great content that's going to be coming your way as well over there. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see all of you at the same time, same place next week.